Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So today I've got some news and an update for you in regards to California's effective ban on concealed carry, which is going to be taking effect on January 1st of 2024. So at the time of this video, in just a couple months from now. Now I call it an effective ban because with the number of sensitive places that are listed in SB2, which is what's taking effect, you really can't carry just about anywhere. Public places, private businesses, I mean, just about everything is off limits. And one thing that people aren't talking about that much is that some language was removed from SB2, which is going to make it almost impossible for people to follow the law, even if they wanted to. So there used to be a provision in there that said if you wanted to enter an establishment, there had to be a sign that told people whether or not they were prohibited or whether or not they were allowed. Well, they don't require that signage anymore. That was removed from the bill. So now if you enter a business, if you enter a private establishment with no sign, but their policy says that, you know, people with CCWs are not allowed inside or you're not allowed to carry inside, you could essentially be breaking the law 20 times a day and not even know it. So there's some pretty big stuff happening here. We're going to talk about that right now. Now, speaking of concealed carry, one of the worst things that you could do is actually leave the house unarmed. And one of the biggest reasons that people do that is because the holster that they have is uncomfortable. That's why today's video is brought to you by Vanish Holsters. Vanish Holsters are honestly one of the most comfortable holsters that you will ever use. Now, the reason it's so comfortable is because the back of the Vanish holster is a material that feels just like silk. It's extremely smooth. It doesn't absorb any moisture. It doesn't get sticky, so it's going to feel real nice against your body. And with this having its own belt, you don't have to worry about what you're wearing. Not only is the back made out of very comfortable material, but the front is made out of very tough material. This is 1000 denier Cordura nylon. Now I'm wearing a belt to hold up my shorts, but I wanted to demonstrate to you guys how nice this Vanish holster actually holds this pistol to my body. So it doesn't matter whether or not it's appendix, if it's small in the back, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, wherever you want to put it, whatever's most comfortable for you, it holds it really nice and tight to the body, and it feels just extremely comfortable all the way around. So whether you're a big person or a small person, or you like to wear gym shorts or sweatpants, now you can carry at all times. Check out the Vanish holster. Link will be down below. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what's going on here. And if you weren't aware, SB2 was passed earlier this year and almost immediately signed by Governor Newsom. Now, after he signed it, since there was no urgency clause in this final version, and there was multiple versions, I mean, this thing was amended over and over and over. At one point, there was an urgency clause that meant that it would have taken effect immediately. That emergency clause was removed, and so the start date or the effective date of that new law is going to be on the 1st of January 2024, like I said before. Now, this particular bill is bad in multiple ways. I mean, we could go on all day and just talk about how SB2 is a bad bill. I mean, it's California's brew and response bill, right? So before, in California, you had to show some type of good cause or just cause to get a permit. And just about all counties, I mean, you know, there's a few good ones, but most counties in California were using that good cause or just cause to deny just about everybody a permit. As a matter of fact, I believe that no permits were issued in decades in San Francisco because of that good cause or just cause. People would get denied left and right. In LA County, the only people that had permits were judges, retired law enforcement, you know, things like that. If you were just an average person, you couldn't get a permit. So Bruin said that you can't do that anymore. People have a right to carry, and you can't have good cause or just cause. And so California originally replaced that with good moral character, and then through the amendments that have been made to this bill, they even got rid of the good moral character part of it, while still at the same time doing such extensive background checks that they're looking at absolutely everything. I mean, they're going to be checking into all aspects of your life, including a deep dive into your social media. There's a lot going on here. It's more expensive. It's more time consuming. There's more training. There's so much more that's involved that it's just out of control. And then you add on top of that all of the different sensitive places. And what that does is it means that not only is it going to be nearly impossible to get a permit, that's if you could afford one. As it stands right now, you're almost looking at $1,000 in California to get your permit. But not only does it do that, but once you actually get your permit, you pretty much can't use it anywhere because just about everywhere is considered a sensitive place. And like I was saying before, if you wanted to go into a private building or even a public building, public transit, things like that, it's all going to be off limits. And there's no sign requirement. Like I was saying before, again, if you wanted to, let's say, just go into the laundromat, right? You're going to go into the laundromat. that laundromat isn't required to put up a sign saying that you can carry there. Now, if something goes down there and then you find out that their policy was that you couldn't carry there, you end up defending yourself, right? And then you go to court. Well, it turns out that their policy was you couldn't carry there, and now you're the one that's in trouble. So there is just so much going on with this that it's unbelievable. But thankfully, the CRPA filed a lawsuit pretty much immediately. As a matter of fact, I believe that the CRPA filed their lawsuit before Newsom even signed it. So if you're not a member of the CRPA, I suggest you do that, because they're doing a lot for California right now and trying to get things overturned here. So they're the ones who filed a big lawsuit. I believe that the FPC might be on one as well. But this particular lawsuit is seeking an injunction, and we have a date where the judge is going to hear it. And we know what judge is going to be taking on this case. Okay, so the judge in this case, and we have a lot to be happy about here, is going to be Judge Carney. And the reason that I say we have a lot to be happy about is because Judge Carney is the same judge that gave us the injunction in Boland v. Bonta, which is the case that challenged California's roster. And he placed an injunction on several aspects of that roster. So he seems to be like he's a thoughtful person, a reasonable person, and it seems that he cares about people's Second Amendment rights in that state. So it's nice that it's not going before some activist judge who is just going to rule against us regardless of what our arguments are. Now, we also have a date for a hearing in this case for a potential injunction, and that date is going to be December 4th. I believe it's going to be at 1:30 p.m., which is kind of close. I mean, December 4th is less than a month away from the effective date of SB2, so I mean, we're cutting it really close here, but we have an idea, just based on the way that he's done things in the past when it comes to cases like this, that he could provide injunctive relief against SB2 before the 1st of January. As a matter of fact, some of the experts in this case and some of the people from the CRPA believe that he will provide some type of injunctive relief prior to the actual effective date. Now, this CRPA case isn't necessarily looking to overturn SB2, even though that's what CRPA would like. This is more focused. What this CRPA case is focused on is the egregious use of sensitive places, right? So basically, California is just a blanket sensitive place once this takes effect. And CRPA feels that they have a good chance of getting an injunction against that portion of SB2 specifically, since it is just so widespread. And then after they get an injunction, or after they're able to overturn that aspect of SB2, which would allow people again to carry pretty much wherever they wanted, other than places that have been prohibited there for decades. After they do that, then they could file lawsuits against other aspects of SB2 and try and get the entire thing turned over. But what they're looking at right now, again, is mostly going after those sensitive places. So even though it would still be tough to get your permit, and you'd have to go through all this time and money and everything else to get it, at least if we get an injunction here, you'd be able to use it, which is, I think, a bonus. So we have some big stuff coming up here. I believe there are other lawsuits that are challenging this as well, but I think that this one probably has the best likelihood of success. And if we have success in this and we get an injunction prior to the 1st of January, then that would be fantastic. Obviously, they couldn't use just cause or good moral character to give you a permit. They're going to have to give you a permit as long as you're not a prohibited person, and there's other steps as well. But once you got it, then you could at least carry. As it stands right now, if we don't get this injunction and things don't go good on December 4th, then essentially it will be banned in California come next year. Now, I believe this hearing is going to be live streamed on December 4th, and if it is, I'm going to go live here so we can have some commentary and kind of go back and forth about what the arguments are and what they're saying. So if this is a topic that's important to you, and it should be important to everybody in California because, again, you won't be able to carry, then hit that little alarm bell. That'll send you a notification when I come out with new videos, and it will also notify you when I go live that day that the hearing takes place. So again, a very important topic, one of the worst bills, one of the worst laws that we have seen in the state of California, and that's kind of saying something because there's so many bad ones. But again, something that you guys should know. So thankfully, now with this update, we have a date, we have a hearing, and maybe even a potential injunction. So I want to thank everybody very much for watching. Please like, subscribe. You guys have a great day.